So good morning, everybody. How are we doing today? And as you know, in our historical reflection, we call our expert every Saturday and we discuss some crucial thing from the history. So today also we are joined by Mrs. Meeta Joshi from Symbiosis, Hyderabad. So without wasting any further moment, let's welcome her and listen to our today's interesting story. At the same time, I would also like to tell you that all lines are open. You can put your comments, you can ask questions from our expert. So without wasting further more moment, let's welcome Meeta Joshi ji. Hello Meeta ji, how are you doing today? कैसी हैं आप?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm fine, Meeta ji, and as usual, we actually discuss on every Saturday some important aspects from our history, which definitely have a far-reaching effort. In fact, in our future, in our present also. So today, actually, we are discussing a very important rise of left wing in independence movement.
Yes.
So I would like to ask you, how the rise of left wing happened when we are talking about independence movement? How it actually initiated?
Okay. See, Kanchan, when the national independence movement or the national struggle for independence was going on in India, in the other part of world, in Russia, something very phenomenal was happening. The um Communist Party there, Bolshevik Party, led by Vladimir Lenin, they overthrew the despotic Tsarist regime on 7 November 1917. So this was a very crucial and historical moment in the world, and Indian leaders got inspired that when a very like ordinary peasants and workers along with the intelligentsia could overthrow the czarist regime, then we can also fight back with this British imperialism. And slowly people started talking about socialism. In late 1920s and 1930s, there was a wave in which the rise of left wing happened in India. Now, I should tell you one fact that why it is known as left wing. The term came from the French Revolution because the people sitting left to the monarch, they were known as left wing, who were not agreeing with the monarch. So that way, this term was coined, left wing. And then slowly, the first was Russia, who has overthrown the Tsar, and Lenin has formed his first socialist government. And in India, many leaders like M.N. Roy, Jawaharlal Nehru, and Subhash Chandra Bose, they were very much inclined towards socialism. And slowly things started happening, and there were two main socialist party which emerged in India at that time. One was CPI, Communist Party of India, and other was Congress Socialist Party. So these two parties were the main parties who were spreading the idea and thoughts of socialism among the Indian people. Now, what happened slowly when the Marxism theory, people in India came to know about the vision of Karl Marx. So, it was based on socialistic principles in which it said that everybody is equal and there should be no exploitation of one human from another human being. And all this was propagated in India, and slowly in the media, in the press, in Bombay, S.A. Dange was a person who published a pamphlet known as Gandhi and Lenin, and it became the first socialist weekly of those times. And after him, the socialist in Bengal was brought out by Muzaffar Ahmad Navyuk, and they later founded Langal in cooperation with the poet Nazrul Islam. In Punjab, Ghulam Hussain he published Inqilab, and in Madras, M. Singabelu founded the Labour Kisan Gadget. So through the media, through the newspapers, through these weeklies, socialism was promoted in India. Then a very young Jawaharlal Nehru, he was 40 years old when he became the president of Indian National Congress in the Lahore session. So he was very much impressed by the socialistic ideas, and he and Subhash Chandra Bose, they both decided that they will tour the country to propagate the socialistic ideas and to condemn and to boycott imperialism, which the Britishers were doing in India, and capitalism, and they started preaching the idea of socialism. So that is how the rise of left wing happened in India.
That's quite an interesting, actually, occurrence which happened in the past. But at the same time, I would like to ask you: was the theory or the principles of Karl Marx were relevant at that point of time, and is that these left wing added to the independence movement, and how?
Yes, the ideas of Karl Marx were all over the world because they were very revolutionary. They said, according to socialism, there should be no amassing of wealth and property. So every property is people's property, and nobody should amass wealth and keep for themselves. Capitalism should not be there. So this theory, this fundamental things of Marxism, they were very much relatable in Indian scenario because the British imperialists were exploiting us, and capitalism was there, and landlordism, because feudalism was also prevalent at that time. So that time when these ideas of Karl Marx they came, they completely revolutionized the scene, and people started thinking about it, and they started working on it. The peasants they joined the CPI and CSM, Communist Party of India, and Congress Socialist Party. So people were growing in number for socialism, and it was very much relevant, and it is relevant today as well if we actually practice it. But unfortunately now the socialistic principles are dormant in our country because capitalism, as you see, is on a rise, and the socialistic ideas that nobody should amass wealth and nobody should amass property as such, and it should be distributed equally among everyone, is missing.
Okay, well, who were the leaders who initiated this ideology, and what were their contribution when we talk about left wing and rise of left wing in independence movement in India?
As I told you, M.N. Roy, he was the main person to form the CPI, Communist Party of India. They, along with him, Jawaharlal Nehru, Subhash Chandra Bose, S.A. Dange. There are many names, and they had a, difference of opinion with Mahatma Gandhi ji, because Gandhi ji at that time had different ideology. He believed, because he believed in the crown, he said that the Britishers will definitely give us a solution, and they would definitely listen to us. But after the non cooperation movement, when the non cooperation movement failed, then people were little agitated with his ideology. And when Jawaharlal Nehru and Subhash Chandra Bose, they started touring the country. Like they were going from village to village, town to town, preaching the socialist idea. So people got attracted to it. And people thought that it is a good idea that everybody should be equal and nobody should be exploited by anybody, and there should be equality among the people in the society. So that way people were very much interested in socialistic principles at that time. And as I told you, Jawaharlal Nehru, he played a very important role in promoting socialism in India.
I'm sure that many people who are watching would have this question. And I also, as a layman person who is not a historian, I would like to ask you, when we talk about India and the subcontinent, and when we always say that we are from the very old civilization, and we have a few concepts in of equality in our antiquity, and we are even driven by that even today. So when we merge these two ideology, because the equality ideology, I think it's quite modern compared to our old civilization principles and ideology, though it actually are kind of a reflection, but way ahead when we talk about left wing rise of ideology. So I would like to actually ask you, when we talk about our own civilization and their ideology, and when we talk about left wing, so how actually it actually gave an impact on Indian psyche when we talk about these two ideology. Are they relevant, or are they are intermingled, or it's all together a modern thing? And how it actually put roots when we talk about left wing ideology in India?
Okay. See, when we say that India is one of the oldest civilizations, that is very much true. And our society was divided into different classes. There was a caste system which prevailed in our society, and slowly over a period of time, the caste system, which was based totally on occupation, was not functioning according to that, because the Brahmins, they claimed their supremacy, and they thought that other three castes, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudras, were not up to their mark. So this created a rift in the Indian society. And Jawaharlal Nehru, he could understand this class divide. But at that time, Mahatma Gandhi ji was not, really ready to accept this. And there was a major difference of opinion between Jawaharlal Nehru and Mahatma Gandhi ji. So if you see, we were ruled by different kings over a period of time, different dynasties. So monarchy prevailed in India, and then Islamic rule prevailed in India, and then when we were under the Mughal Empire, then these Britishers came and they have set up their colonial rule in India. So socialistic principles were not, you know, I should say that they were not there after this Russian Revolution, and when their ideologies and their thoughts, they were taught in India by the socialist section of society, then people came to know about it. And if you see in our constitution also, our constitution says that India is a socialist, federal democratic socialist republic. So that word is very much there in the constitution, but how much it is practiced is a question.
Definitely, because when we lately we discussed that materialistic and capitalistic ideas, and I think whole world is driven by these ideas, because that is something which which make nations and people progress in a certain way. But when we talk about this ideology, which is the left wing or Karl Marx ideology, definitely it's quite interesting and quite good. But as you mentioned, then in practice, we have to really look into how we can actually handle this ideology, which is really good. But is it practical? That is where we have to agree and we have to discuss further. Now, coming back to our topic, how the left wing help in getting independence, how they actually give impression to Britishers that now this one ideology is also, and it is also contributing in the freedom struggle. So how that has affected the whole independence movement of India?
They were very, effective because they were able to convince the people that the society should be equal, number one. Number two, discrimination should not be there. Number three, equal distribution of wealth should be there. So that all they were able to convey. So that's why many peasants and farmers, they joined the Communist Party of India and Congress Socialist Party, and they were very active that time. During the late 1920s and 30s, and after Jawaharlal Nehru, he took the lead of Indian National Congress at the Lahore session. He was just 40 years that time, very young, very, very energetic. So he also propagated the principles of socialism by his tours, by his lectures, by his writings. His articles were published in various journals and newspapers that time, and they were like so active, they were proactive, and they were ready to go to jail also, and they went to jail also when the Britishers, they were unhappy with them that they are preaching such ideas in a colonial rule, because the colonial rule was exploitative, it was oppressive, it was repressive. So that time, they played a very, very important role in the Indian independence movement. Because of them, because of Jawaharlal Nehru, because of Subhash Chandra Bose, we have seen in the history that how they have turned the tide, and how with their efforts and Mahatma Gandhiji's and other leaders' efforts, we were able to achieve independence in 1947 India. So it was a combined, effort by the socialists, by the Swarajists, by the Gandhian principles and the other leaders, which led to freedom from the British colonial rule. So we cannot say that only they were responsible and they got a revolution. It was a combined effort by everyone, by all the leaders, by the workers, ground root workers, whom they are not even there in the pages of history. They gave up their lives, their sacrifices are very much appreciated. Because of them only we are, living in a free country, and happily, without any restrictions. India is the biggest democratic country that way. So their contribution is very much there, but it is, we cannot say that only because of them. It was a combined effort.
So when lastly, I just would like to ask you that yes, definitely they have contributed into the independence movement, and India is a country of many ideologies, many culture, many tradition combined together, and we are flourishing at the moment as a civilization. But when we talk about Karl Marx ideology, when we talk about left wing, what do you see the future of this ideology in modern India?
If we practice the socialistic principles, I think our society would be like far better than what it is now, because now you are witnessing rise of capitalism. There is a divide between the rich and the poor. Inflation is on its peak right now, and many things are happening around us. So if we really practice those socialistic principles, I think everybody can be happy, and there will be equality there. And as they teach equality, fraternity, the socialistic ideology, so definitely it has a future in India, but it has to be, inculcated. It has to be imbibed in our system.
So, as usual, it is so wonderful to discuss this interesting and very profound topic today. So, I'll just take a leave for today, Saturday, because the Saturdays are special days when we discuss about history into the program historical reflection. So, thank you, ma'am, for be a part of this wonderful streaming. So, see you next week with more profound topics.
Thank you, Kanchan.
Well, we have discussed about the rise of left wing in independence movement. We have also discussed about how relevant this ideology is going further into modern India. So, if you have any comments or if you want to add on to this discussion, please you can put forward your comments. And we every Saturday we have our expert. You can ask from them also. Today, let me take a break, and I will be meeting you again. I'm leaving this live streaming. I'll see you on next Saturday, same time. Till then, have a nice time. Have a nice weekend. Bye bye.